My mother and I pushed ourselves, slaving away to pay for my girlfriend's debt. The work was too hard on her, and she was soon diagnosed with lung cancer. By the time I arrived at the hospital with money for her treatment, my mother had taken her own life and left behind a note. "I can't go on, Gab. The money is best put towards settling the debts. Noel is a good kid. She loves you. She's just lost her way. That's all. You two should settle down once the debts are cleared." I held my mother's ashes and gave Noel the $30,000 she had left behind. Back in the office, I overheard Noel talking to several creditors. "Is Strom, Mr. Lamb has passed your test. What's next on the agenda for him?" Noel's childhood friend, Charles, jumped into the conversation. "Gabriel has proven that he's willing to be there for you through thick and thin, but will he stick around in wealth?" Noel pursed her lips. "I need to know if he genuinely loves me. If he isn't blinded by greed when learning about who I am, I'll marry him." I stared at my mother's ashes, tears rolling down my face. "Noel, my mother was wrong about you, and so was I. I don't want to marry you anymore," I thought to myself. Chapter 1. Gabriel Lamb walked out of Strom Inc. Cradling my mother's ashes, I sat on the curb. It was my mother's final wish to have her remains kept in a bottle, all to save money to pay Noel Strom's debts. Noel appeared on the massive display screen in the city square. The news announced, "This just in, Noel Strom, chairwoman of Strom Inc., after 5 years of absence from the public eye, has resurfaced with her fiancé, Charles Atkinson, at a ceremony." I watched her on that screen, glowing with success and confidence. Tears rolled down my cheeks. My mother and I had worked ourselves to the bone to clear her debts. Yet it was all nothing but a lie. I sat there in a daze until dusk when Noel's call came in. On the phone, she sounded sweet as always. "It's late, why aren't you home yet? Where are you? I'll come get you." I opened my mouth to speak, but all words failed me. Before I would pout, there she was again, interrupting me in the middle of my work. However, I could no longer bring myself to speak to her with the same level of affection. Noel's voice held a touch of anxiety. "Where are you now, Gab?" "Working." Noel paused as if it just occurred to her that I had been burning myself out night after night to free her from debt. She promised to marry me once the debt was gone. Noel would finally settle down with me. It was exactly what my mother wanted for us. Today was supposed to be the day she would come clean about who she was. "See, there's something you need to know. The truth is, I'm the chairwoman to Strom Inc. I'm on my way to you now." I terminated the call and hailed a cab to leave. Any hope I held for Noel was no more. By the time I got a grip on myself, all I could see was the reflection of my tears against the car window. Noel bombarded me with messages. I didn't look at the messages, nor was I bothered by what she had to say. This day was meant to mark the beginning of our new life together. However, her deception reduced my mother's suicide to a mockery. 5 years of struggle were undone by one ridiculous truth. "Noel, I'm done." I didn't go home that night. Instead, I spent the night in a hotel. Noel blew up my phone with texts and calls all night long. I didn't check the messages or take her calls. The next day, I showed up at the office first thing in the morning. I was going to work on my resignation letter. The firm turned out to be a subsidiary of Strom Inc. I was just one of the regular accountants there. 5 years ago, Noel and I both started at the company as new hires. I introduced her to my mother, Bridget Lamb, when we dated. With Bridget's blessing, we began the wedding plans. That was when Noel claimed that she had racked up huge debts and had lost her job. To cover her supposed debts, I took on multiple part-time jobs. Click the link in my bio to get the full story for free.